Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Amanda. I'm 31 and I'm currently 29 weeks pregnant with our first baby, a little boy who is due at the beginning of May. So this week I'm going to give you guys my 27 and 28 week pregnancy update. So I combined them because not a ton had gone on between 27 and 28 weeks. And I also wanted to let the new people know that I have recently been diagnosed with gestational diabetes. So I'll also give you an update on how I'm doing with all of that. I did see my doctor last week in week 28, and I have a little bit of an update there. At 27 weeks, according to the app, the baby is 14.4 inches long and about 1.93 pounds, and he's the size of a lettuce. He also is showing brain activity, which is really, really exciting, and the baby is practicing inhaling and exhaling with their developing lungs. So that's really exciting. In terms of symptoms and things like that for 27 weeks, I had gained a total of 20 pounds since pre-pregnancy weight. So I'm at 27 weeks, I was at 137 and I was 117 before I got pregnant. So I think 27 weeks is your last week in the second trimester. And I had started to get really, really tired. I might have mentioned this in a previous update, but the days that I go into my office to work, I am so dead when I get home. I literally just hit the couch and want to take like a 2-hour to sometimes 3-hour long nap. I also had been having a ton of trouble sleeping at night. I just can't get comfortable. And then I have a lot of pressure on my bladder. So I get up like 3 to 5 times a night to go to the bathroom. So I always am just like anticipating getting up. And so I can't sleep. And then I feel like I never fall into a deep, deep sleep like I used to. And just moving from side to side, the weight of the belly and things like that have just made it a little bit more difficult. And the baby has definitely been growing and is getting a little bit more cramped in there. And I think I had mentioned previously that I was feeling this like stretching kind of like pain under my ribs, and it felt like I had done an ab workout, and this is continuing to happen. I started to really feel the baby kicking under my right rib all the time. Like that's his favorite spot. If I feel like if he's ever in a weird or uncomfortable position, he'll just always jab, and I feel like his legs are always just like kicking me under my right rib, and I don't know. I don't know why it's on that side and not the other side, but I do feel, other movements down, lower down as well. Okay, that was mainly it for week 27. I didn't have anything crazy happen to me, and the symptoms were pretty much the same as the week before. So let's just move on to week 28, which was last week for me. So in week 28, I think that's the first week of your third trimester. And I don't know if this is mental or not, but I definitely felt a little bit different during this week. And I'm not sure if it's because the baby is growing rapidly or what, but I just felt a lot bigger, and I started to really feel the weight of the belly just on me in general, like getting up and sitting up when I've been lying down. Things like that are feeling a little bit more difficult to do than they had been previously. I also started to get heartburn, and that's something that's continuing into week 29. And it's not even after I've eaten something that like could be acidic or whatever. It's just like random. So I'll randomly have heartburn in the middle of the day or at night after I eat. And I also heard that if you have heartburn, your baby will have thick hair. So I guess we'll find out about that one. I had mentioned in a previous video that I had a hemorrhoid because I like felt it, but last week it went away. So I don't know. I'm not like, I think I said that I didn't feel any pain, like it wasn't uncomfortable or anything. And it wasn't. And then all of a sudden, I just noticed that it was gone. So I'm not sure if these things just like happen and then just take care of themselves over time. I didn't take any medication or use any, I don't know what you use, creams or something. But I didn't do anything about it. I was just like, I'll just leave this and see what happens. And it went away. Another thing that I've been feeling are stronger kicks and movements from the baby, and I still keep feeling him. He loves to kick me on under my right rib. It's so bizarre. And then at night, if I like to sleep on my back, and I did before I was pregnant, and now I'm super careful about it, but sometimes I will accidentally roll from my side to my back, and I will get a big kick from the baby saying, no, I don't like that. I think they don't get enough air or something like that if you're on your back. So I usually wake up and he'll kick, and then I'll have to move over and go into a different position. Another thing that I started to experience in week 28 was my stomach started to get itchy. And I was reading about this, and it's, I think, mainly because my belly is stretching, and so the skin is stretching. So, I mean, it's not something that's super uncomfortable or happening, 24/7 that I'm noticing it. It's just randomly, it'll feel a little bit itchy, and you're not supposed to itch it because I think it can cause stretch marks. So I kind of just like rub a little bit, and usually it just goes away. And at 28 weeks, let's see what the baby's doing. The baby is 14.8 inches. Wow, so he's bigger than a foot, and 2.20 pounds. So he's really, really starting to grow in there, and he's the size of an eggplant. And he's gaining more fat, and his lungs are mature enough that if he was born now, he would probably survive. So that's really exciting. My mom had actually sent me this chart that she found where it says how many weeks along you are and the viability. So if you were to have the baby early, like, would they survive? And I think at like 29 weeks or something, they have, I think, around a 95% viability, so they would be likely to survive, which just gives me just ease of mind. I know that now into the third trimester, things are getting super real, and knowing that the baby could survive on its own if something happened and he was born early, that just makes me feel so good. Again, still not sleeping well, and I'm definitely starting to feel the effects of not sleeping well, and I'm more lethargic during the day. I had been doing not rigorous exercises, like an exercise routine, but I don't know. I had been lifting some weights and doing some strength exercises and some cardio and stuff like that, and I tried to do a workout yesterday, and I just was so exhausted and couldn't do the things that I had normally done, like jumping jacks. I would normally do jumping jacks as an interval as part of my HIIT workout, and I just like, it doesn't feel as comfortable to do anymore, and even like a push-up off of my knees kind of feels strenuous on me. So I'm definitely cutting back on my intensity of my workouts and just slowing things down a bit, going for more walks, and kind of just like starting to give my body a break, because I know it's got a lot of weight to carry now, and there's a lot of development going on with the baby, and it's just harder to do more physical type things. that's really it for pregnancy update symptoms and things like that. I just wanted to quickly touch base on the gestational diabetes. So if you're new to my channel, a couple of weeks ago, I did the 1-hour glucose test and my results came back extremely high. So I failed that test completely. I got like a 191, and at 200, they pretty much diagnose you with gestational diabetes. So I have it, and they didn't even offer me the 3-hour test, and they just said that I had to get a glucometer and start pricking my finger 4 times a day and recording 2 hours after I eat what my levels were, my blood sugar levels were. So I have been doing that. It's been over 2 weeks now. I saw my doctor last Thursday and I showed her everything. I had written everything down. I would write down my level, and I also wrote down what I had eaten previously, like the 2 hours before. So she looked at my results and she said, everything looks awesome. There was only, I think, one day that my fasting level was above 95. So your fasting level when you wake up in the morning and you take your blood should be under 95. And mine was at 105 this day. So I realized that I was very stressed out about work that day, the night before. So I didn't sleep well. And then I was anxious about going to work the next day. And I definitely think that elevated my levels. And that same day for lunch, I had forgot to pack my lunch, and so at the office they had pizza. So I had 2 slices of pepperoni pizza, and after I ate that, and I had a Quest bar. So after I ate those things, my level was at 121, and it's supposed to be 120 or lower 2 hours after every meal. So I think that stress definitely affects my blood sugar levels and raises them up. And that could have been why, or some of why, I might have failed my first test, because there was this whole runaround. I had to go to like 3 different places, and then I'd been fasting for like 16 hours instead of the normal 12. So I'm starting to find out the things that trigger my blood sugar elevation. But for the most part, my doctor said I could go back and do the 3-hour test if I wanted to. And I thought about it. I was going to do it just to be like, you know what, maybe I don't have this. The first one was a fluke, and I don't want to prick my finger for the next 3 months. But I also don't want to subject myself to the sugary drink again, or having to sit and wait for 3 hours and take my blood a bunch of times. So I'm just going to continue to monitor my levels and eat how I've been eating. I honestly haven't changed much about my diet. My doctor didn't tell me to like reduce my carbs to a specific amount during each meal. And what I've been eating, I eat the same thing pretty much every single day. What I've been eating hasn't been elevating my glucose levels above the level that they should be. So I don't know. It's just one of those things. I've kind of been doing some experimentation. I actually we went out to dinner the other night to Uncle Julio's, which is a Mexican restaurant. I think it's a chain. And I was like super bad. I was kind of like wanting to test the waters and see how much I could actually eat, because like that pizza spiked it up a bit. So I ate chips and salsa, and I also had some queso, and then for dinner I got quesadillas, like chicken quesadillas, and I only ate 3 of them. They were like, I don't know, not huge, but came home and tested 2 hours later, and my level was at like 144 or something. So that was really, really high. So immediately we went for a walk, and hopefully they went down. The next morning after I'd been fasting, it was perfectly fine. But another tip that I've found to help control it, aside from exercising, is taking walks, and then also having a couple tablespoons of apple cider vinegar before I eat a meal or after I eat a meal that might have a lot of carbs. So that's really it. It's annoying. My fingers are starting to like hurt from pricking them so much. But it's just something that I have to do. And ladies who have experienced this, you know, it's not the end of the world. It's actually helping me be more mindful about my food choices and being healthier and kind of keeping my weight in check, because I don't want anything to happen to this little baby. I don't want him coming early. I don't want him to have, low blood sugar when he gets here, or have any sort of like respiratory diseases or anything like that, because I was reading that could happen, and I definitely don't want a huge baby. So I'm just sticking to all of the recommendations that my doctor, or my nurse, because my doctor is still on maternity leave, has given me, and just keep on keeping on. So that's my pregnancy update. I also just wanted to quickly let you guys know that we have a couple of life updates. So we just went back to New Jersey last weekend for my baby shower, and I vlogged my baby shower, so that should be going up, I think, next week. I hope I have time to work on it this weekend. And we also just closed on our house today, our first house. So I'll link a video to a house tour. Like, it was unfinished, but in the next week or so we're going to be moving in, so I'm going to try to vlog the move, and then I'll do an official empty house tour and a furnished house tour. So a lot of exciting life events going on, just adding on top of the baby. And another thing, I have just been so emotional lately. I don't know if it's because I'm overwhelmed by all of the things that are just happening in my life, and because we're getting closer and closer to the due date, it's becoming real, and there's just a lot of changes in anticipation. But I cried during my baby shower. We closed on the house this morning, and driving back home after we signed the papers, I was just in tears. And I think they were happy tears, but, it could just be like waves of just, I don't know. If we built our own house, and it was just like such a dream for me and my husband, and we never ever expected to be able to do something like that, to own a house and to build one and, have it be brand new. So a lot of exciting things happening over here. So now I will give you a bump update. So this is what it looks like with clothes on from the front, from the side, and other side. Here we go with the front, side, other side. Getting big. There you have it. So thank you all so much for watching. If you are new here, I hope that you subscribe and join me on my pregnancy journey. And if you're pregnant, I'm excited and happy for you, and let me know how you're doing with your pregnancy. If you're TTC, just sending tons of love and prayers your way for, conception of your baby. So love you guys. I will talk to you in the next vlog. Bye.